zone, Cap.
You do anything fun Saturday night?
Well, all the guys in my barbershop quartet are dead, so no, not really.
You know, if you ask Kristen out from statistics, she'd probably say yes.
That's why I don't ask.
Too shy or too scared?
Too busy.
Was he wearing a parachute?
No. No, he wasn't.
It always feels like it gets tighter. It's like I thought it was supposed to get more comfortable. I feel like this got worse. I'm not joking. That really happens. But you know, it's. They always make improvements on it, and it is the type of thing. Once you get a good sweat going, it loosens up quite a bit. It's exciting. Again, a lot of it has to do with the fact that you know you're making good movies. If you were disappointed with the previous film, it's going to be hard to mentally prepare yourself for living in that thing for 4 or 5 months. But since Marvel just can't stop making quality movies, it's exciting, and it's humbling, and it's an honor to jump back into it, no matter how uncomfortable it is.
Do we have a 20 on the shooter?
Tell them I'm in pursuit.
I think this is the first time that we've really gotten to see kind of Natasha. You know, we saw a little bit of her in Avengers, and we saw a bit of her backstory. But and we'll see more of that in Avengers too. But in this film, we really get to see Natasha as a person who, you know, gets up, gets ready for work in the morning, has a life outside of, you know, just her job. Once she's out of the suit, you know, I mean, she's a woman, and she has, you know, her own kind of reality outside of this. Even though, you know, who knows how far that stretches, but you know, it's not until I think through the series of circumstances, as the plot unfolds, you know, we kind of find both, I think, Steve and Natasha kind of questioning their own identity, realizing that they thought that they had, you know, they were pretty strong people that had their beliefs or whatever kind of twisted morals they might have, or whatever they are. Maybe the widow more than Cap's, but you know, at the end of it, they realize, wait, I actually don't know who I've actually been told, kind of, I've been this sort of hired hand for this, you know, my entire kind of professional career and, you know, sort of young adult life, and who am I, and what do I want, and what do I need from someone? So both of these characters are kind of left, in some ways, there's a kind of cliffhanger at the end, because you really see that they're just kind of cresting the wave of, you know, having this huge, you know, moment of self-discovery, and hopefully we'll, you know, I think we'll be able to track where that goes in the next installments.
We're gonna neutralize a lot of threats before they even happen.
Thought the punishment usually came after the crime.
S.H.I.E.L.D. takes the world as it is, not as we'd like it to be.
This isn't freedom. This is fear.
Well, I'm always excited to do more, and Nick seems to grow with each, you know, film. And I realized when I was reading it that it was a bit more than just, you know, a comic book feature. That it had intrigue, and I'm sure a lot of young people are going to be surprised when they get in the movie and watch it that they actually have to think about something other than what's going on. You got to figure out a plot, and that always excites me. And it was, it's always a great joy to know that I'm going to be back in a space with all the people that I enjoy working with, and being able to do the things that I did on a very small scale when I was a kid. I mean, this is you know, a dream come true. You sit there and you read comic books when you're a kid, and you wonder if there's a world like that. You grow up as an actor, and they start making movies like that, and you wonder, how can I get in that movie? And then next thing you know, you're inside it, and you're kind of like, yeah. So, you know, there are all pluses there.
The source material for this is Ed Brubaker's run called the About the Winter Soldier that came out, I think, in 2005. And as we said, its tone is very different from the first film. So that was the source material we drew on. Obviously, and Joss has said this. It's called the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it's not a direct interpretation of that, but it's borrowing tone and it's borrowing characters and it's borrowing themes. But that was the strongest source material for this movie.
You're up. It's time.
Well, we just got cast in the remake of Lethal Weapon, so we're excited about that.
Let's hold to it.
It's pretty cool. That's working out well. Wait, what was the question? I was holding that joke. You go ahead. So I wasn't listening. Sorry.
What you asked.
Damn, I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. Go ahead, my bad.
It's limited. It's very limited with the other studios. Mainly for two reasons. One, because we're quite busy building our own cinematic universe, and also the contracts are very old and the approvals are very limited. Who did what?
Quite busy making better fucking movies. Sorry. Thought that was all.
No, I mean it's
Anthony summed it up.
It is what it is. Those contracts are very old with the other studios. I expect they'll be making Spidey movies at Sony for a long time and X-Men movies at Fox for a long time, and I hope we keep making MCU movies for a long time at Marvel.
You know, you have an infrastructure at Marvel that's very different than anywhere else in the world, which is an incredible infrastructure, very talented, very intelligent people who are there to help you get your vision across. But we always say comedy isn't very different from action. It requires choreography. So when you're doing like a good comedic bit, it's all about the choreography and the timing of it, which isn't very different than stunt work or, you know, a fight in a movie. It's all a dance. So we didn't feel like it was that big of a stretch for us. It felt like, you know, every day that we've been on set for the last 15 years.
Had I not done the movies, it would have been the biggest mistake of my life. It really would have been the biggest regret to date, and there are plenty. It's changed everything for me. I mean, not just what it's enabled me to do outside of these movies, but it's so comforting knowing that you're making good movies. It would be a nightmare to be trapped in this contract when you're making films that you're not proud of. But Marvel has the Midas touch, so every time you suit up, you know that you're making something of quality, and it's rewarding on every level. So thank God I had the right people in my life pushing me to make the right decision.
How do we know the good guys from the bad guys? If they're shooting at you, they're bad.